Hello YouTube. Sorry, it's been quite a long time since I have talked to you guys. I just wanted to say lots has happened in the last 6 months and I am ready to update you guys. So here it is. So I had a baby. As you can kind of tell, I've gained a little bit of weight. Big deal. Everyone does when they have a baby. It's a matter of time if you bounce back or not. I obviously never bounce back, but that's okay. So I'm going to share with you guys my birth story today, and then I will update you guys along the way. I haven't been on YouTube lately. I've been busy. I'm a new mom. So, alright. So my baby was born May 6th of this year. The night prior, so my water broke. But on the 5th of May, I was actually walking back home from McDonald's. It's about, I'd give it like half an hour to 45-minute walk. I don't know. But we stopped on the way because we were with one of my man's friends too at the time. So when I got home from McDonald's, the three of us walked in the apartment, and I went to the bathroom and I noticed this gush, and so I'm like, oh, okay, that wasn't discharge or pee. So I'm like, I don't know if my water broke or not. I was not expecting my water to break first, to be honest, but I guess it happened. So after that instance, I immediately walked out of the bathroom, and my man was on his computer at the time, and I'm like, you gotta call your mom. Like, I think my water broke. It took him a couple minutes before he actually grabbed his phone and called his mom. So, and then we're talking on the phone, and she asks, like, was it like a gush? And I'm like, yes, it was definitely not pee or discharge. And yeah, we went on from there. She said she'd pick us up. So, and keep in mind, like, this is my first baby. We had, like, nothing ready. We did have a hospital bag ready, but we didn't bring it. We didn't even think to bring it. So after that, because we didn't know, so we thought to go to the hospital to check, to make sure, like, see what's going on. So we got to the hospital, and so I go in, and I'm like, I'm pregnant, and I don't know if my water broke or not. So, you know, they checked me in. We went to the nurses section, and at the front desk, the nurse was literally on her phone for like, what, 5 minutes? We were just standing there like, okay. So then we got her attention, and then I gave her the papers, and it was a non-stress test I was doing, but I didn't know that at the time. So I'm sitting there, so I get to the room and on the bed, and I'm like, I'm playing in my head, like, did my water break? What's going to happen? You know, I was just really like, I don't know. And I didn't know at first it was a non-stress test. I had no idea I had to, you gotta click a button each time you feel movement of baby, and I didn't know that at first. Okay, so then, and I told them that, okay, I'm positive for strep B, and you know, I'm thinking my water broke. And I was literally laying there for an hour and a half before the doctor came. And I was like, okay, well, I'm obviously thinking in my head, like, they say that when your water breaks, you gotta go to the hospital as soon as possible. And I'm like, okay, obviously they didn't rush me, so I probably could wait like 10 minutes after my water breaks, 15 minutes after my water breaks, the next time. You know, and here I'm thinking, because I'm positive for strep B, that I'm thinking, what if it travels to my baby? Like, my water broke, right? There's not a barrier anymore protecting it. And literally my mucus plug had broken a few days before my water broke. So that's another thing to look for, like if you know like you're gonna go into labor soon, is if your mucus plug breaks and comes out, you know. Oh, sorry, I just had to sneak peek at what my man was doing. Okay, but anyway, so the doctor didn't come until like an hour and a half later. And so then I told her what happened, and then she put this thing in me to check, to get samples of the liquid. And so she did that, and then it took forever to get the test results back. It turned out, yes, it was my water that broke. So I got admitted to the room, and I look at my man, and it's like, we don't have anything with us right now. Like, we literally don't even have anything with us. So I got him to go home to grab our hospital bag and charger cords, you know, like the stuff that we needed. I do kind of wish that we were a little bit more organized than we were. Definitely something I would do different for baby number 2. Alright, once I got admitted, I was put on 2 medications throughout the night. The first one was like a tiny, like powder pill compacted. It was weird. And that was supposed to jumpstart the contractions. Why did I grab the cup? Hold on. I'm gonna put some ice in this and then put my drink in it. Alright, so then, once my man came back to the hospital, like, we didn't know how long we'd be staying, actually, so that was another thing. But, so I got admitted, and then I got this medication. It took a bit for the contractions to come from the medication, and I don't know, somewhere along the line, I didn't sleep that night at all. And so I remember I started contracting from the pill. They felt like period cramps. Your first few contractions feel like period cramps. So now I know what to look out for baby number 2. And then, my God, sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Okay, so I started contracting with that. It got to the point where at like 3 a.m.-ish, I started getting contractions naturally, because when I was hooked up to this thing, I had like a 2-minute contraction. That hurt. That honestly was so uncomfortable. And I'm like, isn't a contraction only supposed to be a minute long? Like, not 2 minutes? I was literally, I got off the bed, because a few times, like, I had to use the bathroom. And so I was able to wheel this thing to the bathroom with me while I was contracting in between. And so, but at this point, where it switched, where the 2-minute contraction, I had stood up and I was hugging my man, because like it hurts, like, you know what I mean? And so I'm standing there, and then she turned it off, and then my body started naturally contracting on its own. It did get to the point in the morning, definitely around when my mother-in-law came. My mother-in-law said, like, we could contact her anytime through the night, which was weird, because I remember a month before my water broke, she had said that she can't just get up in the middle of the night and leave home. And then when I'm actually in labor, she says that I could call her anytime in the night to come. Weird, right? So eventually, though, when my mother-in-law came, I think it was like around 6 a.m. When my mother-in-law came, after that is when my contractions started to pick up, you know, a little bit more intense. And I think before she came is when they gave me, at first they didn't give me the second medication, but then afterwards they did. I forget when that was. But that one was for dilation to happen. And so, yeah. Actually, I think I remember now. That was around when my mother-in-law, before she came or after she came. I forget exactly, but that happened. And then, I say lots. I'm so sorry. And then mother-in-law came. My man was not the man I thought he was gonna be when I was in labor. He was, like, I did hold his hand a little bit. I had my arm around him, like, when it was really hurting, like, stuff like that. He was there for that, but he wasn't really a man. Okay, so then, I'm like, my mother-in-law was a huge support, okay? I found her more supportive than anyone. But anyway, so once the contractions, like, actually, like, hit, they said, the nurse that I had said that basically she asked am I feeling contractions? So it's like, when it feels like period cramps, is it not contractions? I don't know. She made it sound like feeling like period cramps aren't real contractions. So I was like, I answered her no. And so, yeah, eventually it picked up, and it hurt, okay? It hurt. And so, I'm there, like, in a lot of pain, to the point where I was like, I wanted to toss and turn, I wanted, like, nothing was comfy at all, okay? And, like, it got to the point where, I was like 8 centimeters dilated, and I wanted the epidural so badly. Holy. There was a point where I was sitting waiting for the epidural, and they said that they were gonna wait until my next contraction. I'm sitting there with a contraction, my arm over my mother-in-law, my arm over my man. I'm like, because it hurts. And so then once I passed that, then she finally gave me the epidural. Holy, everything just went away. Like, I couldn't feel anything. I don't know if that was necessarily a good thing or not. And another thing I should point out is baby never dropped, okay? She never dropped. So I had these factors. They tried to let me push, but I had no feeling of urge to push. I had nothing. And so it wasn't until, like, a couple times where the doctor, like, pushed on my belly and I felt the contraction, but, like, other than that, like, I couldn't feel it. Or, like, for a little bit, it, like, died down to the point where it felt like period cramps again on the epidural. But that was, like, right before I was going to go have my C-section, so, you know. And then, so, after that, they're like, okay. And then, like, during the pushing, for some reason, like, I left out a part. Before the epidural, when I was contracting, I couldn't breathe. Like, I hope for baby number 2, I learned breathing techniques, because it hurt so much. I couldn't breathe. So they put oxygen thing on me, so the baby was still getting air, and, oh, yeah, I needed that epidural, oh my god. For women who have an unmedicated birth, oh my gosh, you guys are strong women. Like, I could not do it. I couldn't. Oh my god. So after that, after the epidural, after that, baby's heart rate kept going down. So, like, there's no way I would have been able to give a natural birth anyway. Baby's heart rate kept going down, so they're like, okay, you need a C-section. And before the C-section, I had to sign this form. And then they tailor me to the operating room to have my C-section. The person who gave me my epidural originally, she had pumped like more and more, I think it was an epidural, I don't know, whatever it was, into me so that I wouldn't feel, I couldn't feel anything from here down. And it got to the point where she was testing me, like if I felt, she would have a pin and she would, you know, test like to like what I could feel, and if I couldn't feel it, blah blah blah. Got to the point where they pumped a whole bunch in me and I didn't feel anything anymore. Obviously I couldn't watch it. Apparently they don't let you watch it because you'd go into shock seeing someone slicing you. I don't know if that's true or not, but couldn't watch it, so I gotta move to the bathroom because I'm pretty sure my man is gonna be watching YouTube and I don't want that in the background because, yeah. Alright guys, I had to move places because YouTube is on in the background out there, so yeah. But anyway, so I went to go have a C-section, which I don't think I've ever wanted to give a natural birth. I hope for baby number 2 I do. I don't know. Depends. It really depends on the body. Baby was small enough for me to give a natural birth. It's just, I noticed during the pregnancy she never went down, so I'm thinking that's one of the factors of why I couldn't give a natural birth. But yeah. So anyway, I'm on the table. I'm getting a C-section. And, believe me, like, I was scared the whole time. Like, I was scared even when they told me to push. Like, before the C-section, I was scared, honestly. I've always been terrified to have a baby. But, yeah, so, but I had the C-section, and then I heard my baby cry for the first time. They took her, you know, cleaned her, and then I was so out of it, and I was so tired, like, but I was so out of it. As soon as, like, they put baby on my chest, I'm like, I'm looking at my baby, I'm like, I'm in disbelief, first of all, that I have a baby. And, like, you know that feeling, like, when you have your first baby for the first time, it's, you know? So, yeah, I had one of those moments, and then, a few minutes after, I threw up. Like, I had to throw up. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah. But I had to stay in the hospital for, like, 3 days. Oh, the third day, they offered me a shower, which was nice. So I was able to shower. And then, yeah. My man was out of it, though. Like, I wish he was more supportive than how he was. He also wasn't feeling well during it. Holy man. I swear, he's a boy sometimes. But all in all, like, there's things that I want to do differently for baby number 2. I'm not having baby number 2 anytime soon. Probably when she's about 3.5 years old. That's when, around the time I want to have my second one. So, but yeah, our apartment was a mess though. When we came back home from the hospital, my mother-in-law offered to help clean up the next day after we got home from the hospital. So that was a better day itself. But yeah. Either way, like, there are things that I would do differently. There are some things that I would do the same. It all depends, you know? But all in all, like, it was an alright experience. I had a couple good nurses. This one nurse decided to give me a couple hours rest from baby, so they brought her to the nursery twice during my visit at the hospital. Stuff like that. Like, I think the nurses were helpful. I think they could have done a little bit less. Like, they kind of took over, like, with a lot of things, and it was like, you know, we're capable of doing it ourselves. But so yeah, that's something I'll do differently for baby number 2, obviously. But yeah, and then breastfeeding, that was a challenge. Oh my god, though. And something I noticed was your emotions really go down after having a baby. Like, oh, there was this nurse who, the day that I was being discharged, had said, "Doesn't that baby look a little bit jaundiced?" And she's like, "I hope she's not going home today." I don't know, for some reason, like, that hurt me. Like, we've been feeding the baby. We've been taking care of her. Like, what the heck? For some nurse to say that, it's like, okay, I know how to take care of my baby. Like, oh, I found that nurse to be kind of rude. And like with the breastfeeding thing, baby would not latch. So I had a pump. Pumped at the hospital, pumped at home. It lasted about a month at the most, and then it stopped. But something I wish I could have done different there was, one night I got lazy and I wouldn't pump every 2 hours. It got to the point where it was just too much. Waking up every 2 hours to feed baby, change her, and then pumping, it would take longer. And so there was one night where I got lazy. I feel so bad because, like, I wish I didn't do that, but I was so tired. I wanted a full 2 hours of sleep, not an hour and a half, you know? I don't know. It's something that you kind of have to just deal with, you know, when you're a parent. But at the time, I just couldn't. I don't know how parents do it, honestly. But yeah, baby wouldn't latch, so I had to pump. And I had formula. Like, my mother-in-law did a jump start for us with stuff, and she had bought in formula, so I had formula as a backup if my milk ran dry. So that worked out for a while. And then yeah, like, baby, she was 6 months, November 6th, so that was a beautiful thing. And I wish I could, like, document more for you guys, but, like, I did want to do this YouTube video for a while now. It's just, every time I would do a YouTube video, it'd be like, "Hi YouTube, hey, it's me." And then I wouldn't like the intro, so then I'd restart, and then I'd give up. And then, so trying to figure out how to start a YouTube video is, you know, a challenge for me. And so I thought today, why not do it? Because I had a couple hours spare time, so I wanted to hop on and do a YouTube video for you guys explaining my hospital journey. I don't know, I forget when my last video was uploaded, but yeah, so I wanted to explain that all to you guys, and so you're in the know. It's been 6 months, baby's doing well, she's formula fed, she's actually eating solid foods now, so like purees. We started her on rice cereal when she was 5 months, and then I started her on sweet potato puree, so it's going good though. Maybe I will document what we do during a day or a night. I don't know. I don't know yet. I am gonna do videos on what I do as a parent, you know, so then you guys get a gist of it, and so then I'm uploading more on YouTube more often. I would love to show you guys what I do in a day and what I do to feed baby, how her routine is and stuff like that. So that would be really interesting to do for you guys. But yeah, I hope you guys were patient. I hope, you know, I will do my best to upload more, and I'm doing my best. So yeah.